God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My son, listen carefully to what my Spirit wants to tell you in this time. You are not lost, you are being repositioned. The path that brought you here was carefully designed by my hands, and even the most unexpected turns are part of the perfect drawing of your purpose. I saw you when you doubted your worth, when you thought your dreams had been lost at the crossroads of life. Do you feel that you are ready for a deep change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes, all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and blessings that God has already reserved for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inner being and reflects in the outer world. If you want to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, both spiritual and material, click on the link pinned in the first comment. There, you will find a simple practice, lovingly guided, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. But I tell you, nothing that was mine in you has been lost. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm, the caterpillar, and the palmerworm, my great army which I sent among you." Joel chapter 2 verse 25. I am the restorer of what seemed erased, the God who breathes life into the ashes. Just as I restored Job's fortune and turned the desert into a garden, I will also make bloom again the areas of your soul that seemed dry. Comment, I trust in God's love, He is my refuge. My son, do not doubt the process, because the time that seems slow to you is, in fact, the time in which I mold your heart for the greater purpose that lies ahead. There are pains that did not come to wound you, but to mature you. There are silences that do not mean absence, but divine instruction. While you asked where I was there, within your tears, purifying your vision and strengthening your faith. I needed you to learn to recognize me not only when I open doors, but also when I close paths. I was with you when the silence was heavy, when answers didn't come, when everything seemed still. Every moment of waiting was a seed of growth. Every tear shed was an instrument of purification. What seems like delay today is the soil being prepared for the fulfillment of the promise. I lead you patiently, because what I am building in you is eternal, not temporary. Do not rush, do not compare yourself, just trust. My will never arrives early nor late, but at the exact moment when your heart is ready to receive what I have prepared. God's timing never fails, I rest in His will. Remember, nothing is wasted in my hands. Every step you took, every night you endured in silence, has been counted and kept before me. What seems like loss today, tomorrow you will understand as liberation. I saw your tears, and each one was gathered as a silent prayer. Do not let the weight of waiting steal the joy of your faith. The seed does not die when it is buried, it only begins to fulfill its purpose. So are you. What was buried in tears will sprout in harvest. I am the same who turns mourning into dancing, and your pain will become the stage of my glory. Those who sow in tears will reap with joy. Psalm 126 verse 5. Trust, for nothing you have lived will be in vain. I will bring forth fruit where the soil seemed barren, and your testimony will be a sign of my faithfulness. The time that seemed to be waiting was, in fact, the time of preparation for what I am about to manifest. God turns my tears into fulfilled promises. Comment: God's timing never fails. I rest in His will. I know that on some days your heart feels tired and the burden of waiting weighs heavier than hope. But listen to me, my child, I did not bring you this far to abandon you. I guard you even when you do not perceive it, and I work in silence when you think nothing is happening. What I began in you, I will complete in perfection, for my promises never fail. While you think everything is motionless, there is invisible movement in heaven. My angels work on your behalf, opening doors, moving hearts, weaving circumstances that converge for your good. What you cannot yet see has already been decreed from the throne of eternity. None of your efforts will be forgotten. No prayer will go unanswered. When the right time comes, everything that once seemed confusing will align before your eyes like a completed painting. Your faith will be rewarded, and your patience will be turned into joy. Therefore, do not fear the season of waiting, for it is in that season that I prepare the greatest miracles. Even when I do not see, God is working for me. Comment: God turns my tears into fulfilled promises. My son, remember who you are. You were chosen even before light touched the earth. You were set apart for an eternal purpose, and nothing can frustrate what I have decreed. In you are marks of my love and reflections of my glory. I formed you with gifts you do not yet fully know, and there are talents still asleep within you that I will awaken at the right time. Do not compare yourself to others, for your path is unique, shaped by my own hands. Your wounds will become wisdom, and your story will be a living testimony of my faithfulness. I will lift you up, not for the praise of men, but so that my name may be glorified through your restoration. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. Trust in the timing I prepare, for every promise has its perfect hour. Even though the journey may seem long, your destiny is safe in my hands. God's plan is perfect, even when I do not understand it. Comment: even when I don't see it, God is working for me. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. There were times when you looked back and saw ruins where hope once stood. You gazed at what was broken and wondered if anything good could rise again. But look again, this time with the eyes of faith, for I am rebuilding everything that was torn down. The new house will be more beautiful than the old one, and its foundations will be laid upon the strength you gain through every trial. The one who hurt you will have no power over what I restore. The words that wounded you will no longer define you, for your identity is not shaped by human voices but by the voice of your Creator. My voice calls you now toward a new beginning. Do not fear the new, for it does not come to destroy who you were, but to reveal what has always existed within you. I am breathing life into what was silent, healing what was broken, and illuminating what was hidden. Every loss will become a seed of resurrection, every scar a mark of my faithfulness. You will rise, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. Trust in the process, for I am rebuilding what time tried to erase. Listen, my beloved child, every chapter of your story has been written with divine purpose. Not a single page will be wasted, for even your pain carries meaning. The wounds of yesterday will become the testimonies of tomorrow. When the world sees you restored, they will know that my hand has been upon you all along. The pieces that once seemed scattered will fit together into a masterpiece of redemption. I tell you, the day will come when you will look back and understand the reason for every tear, every moment of waiting, and every silence that once felt unbearable. Because in my timing, everything is revealed in perfection. I am the God who writes impossible stories, who turns endings into new beginnings and ashes into beauty. What once seemed hopeless will become proof of my sovereignty. Every delay was divine preparation, every silence a sacred conversation between your soul and mine. I never abandoned you. I was teaching you to see me beyond the noise. My work in you is not yet complete, but it is unstoppable. The one who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. There is a new beginning being released over your life. The season of restoration has arrived, and the winds of renewal are blowing through every corner of your existence. The doors that closed were not losses, they were acts of preservation. I prevented you from walking through paths that would have led to destruction, and now I lead you through paths of life. Receive the new with humility, but also with courage. Do not be afraid of the size of what I am about to do, for what I have prepared for you is far greater than anything you have ever dreamed. While you rebuild, I will strengthen your steps. While you start again, I will pour my favor over every decision you make. The days ahead will not mirror the pain of your past, they will overflow with purpose. Walk boldly, for I am guiding you into a time of abundance, and my hand will sustain you through every transition. This new chapter will be marked not by striving, but by grace, not by loss, but by divine gain. My child, there is no such thing as lost time when you walk with me. Even what seemed like delay will be turned in your favor. I am the God who transforms waiting into wisdom, loss into strength, and deserts into testimonies of faith. What you once thought was the end is, in truth, the beginning of your elevation. I will give you double honor where you were shamed and peace where storms once raged. For I am faithful to restore not only what you had, but also what was promised. Every tear has watered the ground of your next season, and every prayer has been heard and stored before my throne. The humiliation you endured will give birth to revelation, and the emptiness you felt will be filled with my glory. Do not dwell on what was lost, for I am bringing forth something greater. Where others saw defeat, I saw preparation. Where you felt forgotten, I was working in silence. Your story will not end in disappointment, but in victory, for I am the Redeemer of time and the Restorer of destiny. Now, my son, walk with confidence. The time of waiting is turning into a time of fulfillment. The tears you shed have become seeds that are sprouting into hope. Rise up, for what is coming will be greater than all that you have lost. I have already been in your future, and I can assure you, there is victory, there is peace, and there is joy. The enemy will not be able to stop what has already been written by my hand. When the days feel long and the answers seem delayed, remember this unchanging truth: my purpose never arrives late, it only matures. What I promised will come to pass in due season. Trust my process, even when it is hidden from your understanding. You are closer than you think, stronger than you realize, and more loved than you can comprehend. Do not allow fear to silence your faith, for your destiny is unfolding with divine precision. The waiting is over, now comes the harvest. Walk forward with peace, the purpose of God will be fulfilled in your life. There were moments when you thought the weight of your journey would crush you, when the silence around you grew so deep that it almost felt like the absence of everything, even hope. But what you didn't see was that, beneath that silence, I was speaking the loudest. While your heart trembled under the pressure of uncertainty, I was forming a foundation strong enough to hold the magnitude of what's coming. I have never written fragile stories. Every fall you've endured has become a chapter of strength, every tear has watered the ground for your next victory. When you look back and see the traces of pain, I see the moments I lifted you from the dust and breathed courage into your lungs. You thought you walked alone, but if you look closely, you'll notice the extra footprints beside yours, mine. And when you believed that time had been wasted, I was, in truth, preparing the turning point that would redefine your entire path. You do not need to understand every twist in the road to keep walking forward. It is enough to remember who walks before you. I have not called you to wander in the dark, but to trust the light I have placed within you. Even when the end of the path seems hidden, I am already there, waiting with open arms for your victorious smile. No delay can hold me, no closed door can stop me, and no opposing wind can divert the purpose I have designed for you. When I declare something over your life, no force can undo it. You have crossed deserts where you thought you could take no more steps, and yet you did, because I was there, hiding springs of living water in places you least expected. You have survived storms not because they were mild, but because my hand held you still. You have walked through the fire and emerged refined, not consumed. And soon, you will understand that nothing you endured was wasted, it was all divine preparation. I know when your heart cries for relief and when all you can do is whisper, "I can't anymore." I know when to calm the storm, and I know when to simply walk with you through it. Nothing escapes my gaze, not your sighs, not your quiet courage, not the moments when your smile fades into the night. I have seen that smile slowly rebuild itself, shining brighter after every loss, because you learned that nothing truly disappears in my hands. I have walked beside you when loneliness tried to take your hope, covering you with a protection you couldn't see. You mistook silence for absence, but in truth, it was the sound of me working behind the scenes, where human eyes cannot see. While you thought I was still, I was rebuilding your life with the precision of eternity. While you waited, I was aligning hearts, opening paths, and softening the ground for the blessings that required more time to bloom. I do not only prepare roads, I prepare hearts. I make them strong enough to welcome what I have promised. Every season of your life has been crafted with care, even the ones you wish you could erase. Some victories only bloom after long waiting, because patience refines faith. There are blessings that only unfold when your spirit has matured enough to carry them with humility. What you see as a pause is, in truth, my most delicate work. I never waste time, I mold destinies. You will one day look back and realize that the days that seemed most empty were, in fact, filled with my presence. Those quiet days sheltered the seeds of miracles, seeds planted by my own hands, seeds no one can uproot. The same places where you once fell will become the ground of your greatest testimonies. The same wounds that once bled will become windows of light through which others will see my glory reflected in you. I have been present even in the days when the weight felt unbearable. I saw you walk over what once made you sink, and I heard your voice proclaim victory in territories once marked by defeat. I have opened doors where everyone said there were only walls. I have turned impossibilities into testimonies. The giants that stand before you now have already fallen in my plans. What you fear today will soon become the proof of my faithfulness. The tears you shed in confusion have watered the roots of your destiny. Every moment of silence has been the rhythm of my unseen movement. Every loss has been a redirection toward what truly belongs to you. There has not been a single breath I have wasted. Every season, every trial, every delay has been intertwined with divine purpose. And when the time arrives, you will see how every broken piece was never missing. It was waiting for the right moment to fit into the masterpiece I have been building. Where you see an ending, I see the beginning of something far greater. I know your structure, I know how much you can bear, and I know when your strength begins to fade. I am the breath that revives you when your spirit feels faint. I am the calm that steadies your trembling heart. Nothing escapes my care, not a single detail of your journey has gone unnoticed. When you think you've reached your limit, I infuse you with new energy. When your faith flickers, I whisper reminders of what I have already done. The same power that raised the sun today is the same power that sustains your soul. And though you cannot see every answer yet, trust this, I have already been to the future you fear. I have already marked it with victory. The path you walk is not random, it is sacred ground shaped by my hands. Keep walking, even when you cannot see the horizon. Keep believing, even when your heart trembles. Because the story I am writing through your life is not one of defeat but of unstoppable resurrection. You will rise again, stronger, purer, and more radiant than before, and the world will know that I was with you all along. When you feel that the weight of the world rests upon your shoulders, remember that I have already carried what you cannot. I have measured your strength and shaped your journey so that nothing you face will exceed the grace I have placed within you. There are days when your tears water the ground where new hope will bloom, and you may not yet see the flowers of tomorrow, but I have already seen their beauty. Before you speak your words of gratitude, I have already heard them echo through eternity. Before you lift your eyes in relief, I have already written the ending to your struggle. The story you are living is not random, it is a masterpiece still being painted, and every shadow you see is only preparing the perfect contrast for the light that is coming. What you now call burden, I call transformation. What you call waiting, I call preparation. Every sigh, every sleepless night, every question whispered into the darkness has become a seed of divine purpose that will one day bear the fruit of understanding. I have already seen the victories you will one day embrace. I have stood in the moments you have yet to reach, the days when your heart will overflow with joy because promises once whispered in the silence will become realities before your eyes. The future that frightens you has already been touched by my love. I have gone before you to design every encounter, every opportunity, every open door. Nothing is left to chance when your life is held in my hands. You are not walking toward uncertainty, but toward fulfillment, a plan that existed long before your first breath. I have walked the roads that your feet will one day tread, lighting paths that you have yet to discover and adorning with beauty the places that now appear barren. When you think of giving up, I am thinking of all that still awaits you, blessings that have been aligned with divine precision, hidden just beyond the horizon of your current understanding. The winds that blow against you are not signs of your end but the beginning of alignment. The storms that rage are not meant to destroy but to cleanse the soil of what no longer belongs in the new season I have prepared for you. Do not fear the shaking, for only what is deeply rooted in me will remain. And you, my beloved, have roots that storms cannot pull. Even when everything trembles, you will stand, for within you I have placed resilience forged by fire and love that cannot be undone. You will be astonished by blessings you never imagined, by doors that open without effort, by encounters that shift your direction, and by healings that restore what seemed lost forever. Every detail of your story is being woven with care and purpose, nothing wasted, nothing random. I do not forget my plans, and my plans include your victory. Your tomorrow will not be a place of fear but of testimony. You will speak of my faithfulness, remembering how I walked before you when all seemed dark. You will look back and smile, realizing that nothing was in vain, that every tear, every delay, every disappointment was shaping the road to your destiny. Before you open your eyes to a new dawn, I have already been there. When the first rays of light touch your face, I have already walked through the hours you have yet to live. In each sunrise, I am the first to arrive, arranging what must be restored, removing what could harm you, and strengthening the ground where your feet will stand. There is no unknown land for me. Every step you take has been marked by my presence, invisible footprints guiding you safely forward. You may not see them yet, but blessings are already waiting in your tomorrow, blooming quietly like flowers that rise before their season. And in the stillness of waiting, when the world's noise fades, the deepest threads of your destiny are being woven. Waiting is not emptiness, it is sacred work in motion. It is not inactivity but gestation, the secret place where foundations are built and roots grow unseen. Patience is not weakness, it is faith in its purest form, a trust that moves mountains before your eyes can see them move. Faith is not measured by how quickly answers come but by how deeply you trust when answers delay. Every time you chose to believe in the silence, every moment you clung to hope when logic whispered otherwise, you were strengthening a bond that reaches into eternity. Your waiting has never been wasted, it has been a silent conversation between your heart and mine. While the world calls it uncertainty, I call it intimacy, a place where your soul learns to hear my voice more clearly than ever before. While you worry about how you will face the coming days, I have already declared your victory. While fear tells you that you are alone in the unknown, I remind you that for me, there is no such thing as the unknown. I am already beyond the curves you cannot see, standing on the mountain watching over every path that lies ahead. There is no shadow I have not conquered, no storm I have not calmed before you entered it. I go before you not because you are weak, but because my love for you is greater than any threat that dares to stand in your way. Even before a question forms in your heart, I have already crafted the answer with wisdom. I do not improvise, I prepare. I design breakthroughs long before the winds of trouble rise. No wall that imprisons you can stand against my time, for I have already decreed its fall. And when you find yourself surrounded by uncertainty, remember, you are never trapped in places not meant for you. I am the one who opens paths where there are none, who turns endings into beginnings and ruins into gardens. I am rewriting your story with strokes of grace and lines of victory. You may not yet see the full picture, but trust that every fragment of pain will one day become a mosaic of beauty. I have not forgotten you. I am ahead of you, behind you, and within you. Your steps are guided by hands that never tremble. So walk boldly, beloved, into the tomorrow I have already prepared. There is light waiting at every turn, peace hidden in every pause, and purpose beneath every shadow. The path you walk is not uncertain, it is holy ground, already sanctified by my presence long before your feet arrived. I have walked through every season of your life, leaving traces of rebirth and seeds of hope along the way. Each closed door you encountered was never a rejection, it was a redirection, guiding you toward the place where your soul would flourish. The silence you feared was not emptiness, it was the sacred pause where I built the foundation of your strength. I have seen the moments when you wanted to give up, and even then, I was holding you together with threads of grace invisible to the human eye. You may not have seen it, but I have always been there, in the breaking, in the waiting, in the rebuilding. The walls that fell were not the end of your story, they were the beginning of something new that could only be born from the dust. I have prepared paths where your eyes only see fog. And when you take that first step into the unknown, you will realize that the light has always been waiting on the other side of your faith. You were not created to live defeated, but to rise each time with greater purpose. The hope within you is not a fading dream, it is a promise sealed by my eternal hands. And every time the winds of uncertainty blow, remember, I am the solid rock beneath your feet. When fear whispers its lies into your heart, my voice will rise louder within you. I know the moments when doubt shadows your mind, when you question if I still see you, if I still care, if the promises will ever come to pass. But I tell you now, I have never lost sight of you. Even before you called my name, I was already standing beside you, fighting battles you never saw, protecting you from storms you never felt. You were not made to wander in circles of confusion, but to walk steadily on a road designed with divine precision. The places you see as ruins are, in my eyes, constructions ready to reveal testimonies. The deserts you fear will bloom into gardens. And what you thought was the end will become the sacred beginning of a new season. I have already lived the days when you will understand the reason for every tear, when laughter will return to your lips and joy will fill your heart again. You have not lost time, you have been in preparation. Each delay was a refinement. Each silence was instruction. Each setback was shaping the foundation of your greater purpose. There will come a moment when you will look back and see that nothing was wasted. The roads that once felt heavy will become sacred memories of how I carried you through. You will realize that what seemed like chaos was actually the perfect movement of divine order leading you to victory. I have never planned defeat for you. My intentions are peace, growth, and abundance. Even in the weight of difficult days, something greater is always taking place behind the curtain of time. I never allow loss without a purpose. When something slips from your hands, it is because I am preparing to place something greater into them. The promises I have spoken over your life have not vanished into the air. They are held safely in the chambers of eternity, waiting for the appointed moment to unfold. The world may call it coincidence, but when it happens, you will know, it was my perfect timing. Nothing escapes my design, not even your pain. The delays that frustrate you are often the pauses that protect you. The waiting that feels endless is often the space where I align everything in your favor. And when the day comes, it will happen so precisely, so beautifully, that you will understand it was never delay, it was preparation. I know the rhythm of your heart. I feel the trembling when fear tries to tighten its grip. I see the flicker of hope that refuses to die within you, even when pain surrounds you. I see when you lift your head and choose to keep going without understanding everything. Those are the moments when my power moves strongest, when your strength ends and mine begins. You have overcome battles that you thought would destroy you, and many of those battles I fought in silence on your behalf. While you prayed, I was already moving, bringing down giants that never even reached your sight. While you rested, I was preparing answers that would meet you exactly when you needed them. Not one promise of mine has fallen to the ground. Not one tear has gone unnoticed. Everything that belongs to me and you will be preserved. I do not allow my promises to be scattered by the wind. I keep them in divine safekeeping until the appointed hour, when they will be revealed one by one, and you will see that I was never late. I do not move slowly, I move precisely. I do not forget, I fulfill. What you perceive as stillness is often the movement of heaven on your behalf. When you think the wait has been too long, remember, I have already walked ahead of you. What is coming is not ordinary. It is something that will make every prayer, every tear, and every silent night worth it. You will see with your own eyes that tomorrow is not a place of fear, but a stage where I have written scenes of triumph. The uncertainty you call confusion is simply the interval between sowing and harvest. And I assure you, the harvest will be abundant. There are fruits already ripened in the future I have prepared for you, waiting for the perfect moment to meet you, not before, not after, but exactly when your heart is ready to receive them. I have been in the places where you will be honored, and I have prepared the tables where your name will be spoken with grace and favor. Every chapter that felt unfinished will find its closure in light. The promises that seemed delayed will rise in full bloom. The prayers that once felt unanswered will return to you as blessings overflowing. I am not only the God of beginnings but also the God of fulfillment. What I start, I complete. What I plant, I bring to life. And you, my beloved, are the living proof that hope never dies, it only matures in time. So lift your head, even when the horizon looks dim. Every season you have walked through has been sacred, even the ones that hurt. I have used them all to refine you, to teach you endurance, to strengthen the faith that will sustain you in what is to come. The doors that closed were never meant to break you, they were meant to lead you to the ones I have already opened ahead. The waiting you have endured is not a punishment, it is a pause filled with purpose. Every prayer you whispered in the dark was heard. Every tear that fell carried weight in eternity. Even now, I am weaving beauty from what you thought was broken. You are stepping into a new chapter, one written not by chance, but by divine orchestration. When you look back one day, you will see the pattern in every delay, the wisdom in every no, and the blessing hidden in every unanswered question. You will realize that through it all, I was faithful. I was near. I was working. And I still am. For the story I am writing in your life is not one of loss, but of restoration. Not one of endings, but of beginnings. The same hands that shaped your past are now crafting a future filled with peace, purpose, and radiant joy. And when the fullness of time arrives, you will stand and say with certainty, it was worth every moment of waiting, for everything has happened exactly as it was meant to, beautifully, perfectly, in its time. With love, God. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.